Hello, welcome to Autobot YouTube channel. Today we are going to understand more about the build tool Maven, and we are planning to do a series of Selenium automation videos. So before going to the Selenium automation, the main important thing that we need to understand is Maven. So in this video we are going to see and we are going to understand the important concepts of Maven. So let me show you the points that we are going to cover in this video. So we are going to see what is Maven, what are the objectives of Maven, understand pom.xml file, and fields to remember while creating a Maven project. What are the prerequisites of using Maven and how to create a Maven project. Okay, so we are going to see the entire aspects of Maven, like what are the prerequisites before creating a Maven project, and what are the configuration that is required for doing the execution using the Maven commands. So all these things that we are going to cover, and hope this video will give you a clear understanding of this Maven. Okay, so let's start the session. What is Maven? Maven is a build automation tool used primarily for Java projects. So this doesn't mean this is not limited to Java project, but we can use to create projects which is written in C Sharp, Ruby, or in different programming languages. Okay, so Maven is also a powerful project management tool that is based on POM, that is Project Object Model, and it is used for projects build dependency and documentation. Okay, so we can call this Maven as a build automation as well as project management tool, which will help to create the project to write our codes. Okay, so if you're going for a Maven project, it will automatically create you a structure for your project. Okay, also it will create you the dependency and the documentation, and you don't need to go to the jar file for adding that to your project folders. Okay, so all these things will be taken care by the Maven itself. Okay, so let's move on. What are the objectives of Maven? Making the build process easy, providing a uniform build system, providing quality project information, encouraging better development practices. Okay, so making the build process easy. So this is very interesting because if you are creating some project, okay, or if you are developing something, some application using Java or using some program, if you want to make it to some package, okay, you don't need to go for some other packaging tool for doing that. Okay, Maven will do that for you. Using the Maven command, you can make the code to the packages. Okay, or you can build it, or you can review it, like whether any error is there in your project. So all these things can be handled using the Maven. Even the testing of the project also can be done by the Maven. Providing a uniform build system. Okay, so suppose if you are creating a project using a Maven, and in the second time also, if you want to test it in the same manner, you can use this Maven. Okay, because it will give you a structure, like it will verify, then it will help you to design, then it will help you to test, then it will help you to package, then it will help you to deploy also, even to local as well as to the remote repositories. Okay, providing quality project information. So one of the main benefit with this Maven is it will give you the hierarchy as well as the entire documentation and proper project information, which will help a non-technical guy or an outsider to understand what this project is. Okay, so all the information regarding this project will be available in the project folder itself, or you can see the dependency and other details in the pom.xml file also. Okay, encouraging better development practices. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, like this will give you a hierarchical level structure, which will help you to make a proper and standard coding structure. Okay, so I will show you what are these points which we have seen now while creating a sample project. Okay, also one of the main benefit with Maven is, like if you're going for a normal Java project, we have to download all the dependency files. Okay, like suppose if we want to integrate some API automation, we have to download the respective jars from the Maven repository, and we need to add that to the project. Okay, so if you're thinking like if you need to integrate some 50 jar file to your project, it will be really a tedious work to download all these jars and to add that to your project dependency, right? So there comes the usage of Maven. Maven will help you to do all these steps. You just need to add the dependency lines, and Maven will take care of all this downloading, and it will help you to add all the jars to your project. Okay, so let's see what are the problems without Maven during project development. Manually adding the dependent jar file. So just now I mentioned about this. So need to manually download the supporting jar files and to add to the project dependency. Okay, so this is one main time consuming work if you are going to develop a complex project, to download all the dependency and to add to your projects. Okay, so for that also you have to check the versioning. You need to take the proper jar file with the proper version from the Maven dependency, and you need to upload. So it will take a lot of time to do those steps. Creating the project structure. Normal Java projects won't give you a structured project. Manually need to create the structure and difficulty to maintain. So Maven will give you a structured format for your project. Okay, while creating the normal Maven project itself, it will give you a structured project. Okay, but if you're going for creating a normal Java project, it will not give you this hierarchy like a structure to create the project. So either you'll have to create it manually by creating the folders and packages, and it will be very much difficult to maintain because it's not structured by the project itself. Okay. Building and deploying the project. For building and deploying, we need to write complex scripts which can cause errors and failures. Okay, so if you are not going for Maven, and if you want to build that project, we'll have to write a more complex scripts for doing that, and there can be chance for manual errors, and it can cause the failures of your project. Okay, so these are the demerits of going without Maven while creating your project. Okay, so you can take the reverse while comparing the benefits of Maven. Integration of third-party applications and versioning. Okay, so if you want to integrate some third-party applications or the jar files, and there can be some versions, right? And if there is any upgradation happen to that particular version, you will have to again go back to the Maven repository and you need to download it, and it will be very much difficult to integrate all these third-party application and versioning of these jar files if you're going for a normal Java project. So in the beginning I mentioned like this Maven is a build tool. So let us understand what is a build tool. Build tools are programs that automate the creation of executable applications from source code. Building incorporates compiling, linking, and packaging the code into a usable or executable form. Okay, so suppose if I'm writing some script for developing some application. Okay, so in order to use that application, what I have to do? I need to create that to a package, right? So then only I can convert that to an exe or to a jar file, and I can use that to use it as an application. I cannot always depend on our IDE for doing that, right? So build tools will help for that. So building incorporates compiling of the code that we are writing, then linking with different applications or with the different jar files, and packaging the code, the entire code, into a usable or executable form. Okay, so after this build we will be getting a package which will help to execute without the dependency of any of the IDE. Okay, so that's the purpose of this build tool. So Maven is a build tool, and Maven can do that thing. Okay, so generates source code if auto generated code is used. Okay, so this will help to generate the source code. Generates documentation from the source code. Okay, so if it gets generate the source code, it will help to generate the proper documentation for the same. Compiles the source code, so it will help to understand where are the errors coming, and it will help you to check whether all these projects or the libraries or the files which you created inside that project is verified properly and it is without any error. Okay. Packages compile code into jar of zip file. Okay, so after this packaging or after the build, it will get compiled into jar format of a different zip file. Okay, install the packaged code in local repository, server repository, or central repository. So once this packaging is done, you can install that in your local repository, or you can move that to any of the server repository or to central repository. Okay. What is pom.xml file? Okay, so this is again another important topic, and this is one important configuration file as part of your Maven. Okay, so POM is a acronym for Project Object Model. Okay, so this pom.xml file contains information of project and configuration information for the Maven to build the project, such as dependencies, build directory, source directory, test source directories, plugin, goals, etc. Okay, so this is nothing but, like as I mentioned earlier, like if you're going for Maven, you don't need to download any jar file, right? Everything will be handled by the Maven, but you have to give the dependency listing from which you can get from the Maven repository. Okay, so if you add that and if you just update your project, or if you just run the project, it will automatically download all the dependency libraries which you are listed in the pom.xml file. Also the source directory as well as the test source directory, all these things that you have to list it inside this pom.xml file. Okay, so it means this is nothing but, like if you're going for any other framework, okay, suppose if you're going for some TestNG framework, okay, and if you want to execute that TestNG framework, what you have to do, you have to write a testng.xml file, right? So this is for creating the test suite, right? So in order to tell the project, like if you run that testng.xml, it has to execute all these project, right? So this test suite you have to configure inside this pom.xml. Okay, like that you have to if you want to integrate any plugin, those configurations you have to add inside this pom.xml, or if you want to build your project and if you want to mention some directory, those details you have to add inside pom.xml. So this pom is nothing but, it's like a config file which is keeping all the information of your project. Okay, phases and goals of default lifecycle, and I mentioned like jar. Okay, so if you're going for Maven, it will help you to create the packages in different format. Either it can be in jar, or it can be in pom, or it can be in EAR format, or like that a different format that will help. For that different phases and goals are listed down as part of the project lifecycle. Okay, so if you're considering jar as the packaging, then these are the different phases and the goals which we can consider. Okay, so suppose if I'm telling, okay, if I need to compile the code, we have to use a compiler plugin to do the compilation of the code. So that is a goal, like I need to compile the code, right? And if I need to test the project after creating your project, what I have to do, I need to use the Surefire plugin to test your project. Okay, so I can use the Surefire plugin to do the testing of the project which you created. Like that, different goals you can set to meet the requirement. So whenever if you are doing like here if you are going to run the deploy phase, it will run all the pre-steps, like it will start from the process resources, compile, process, test resource. Like that, it will run all the steps which is defined about to that. Okay, so if you're going to run the test phase means it will run all the phases which is about to that. Okay, so that's how this phase and goal is working. So if you want to know more about this life cycle, I will give you a link in the description which will help you to understand more about this life cycle and what are the different type of packaging, and you will get more idea about Maven, and and another link I'm going to give which will help you to navigate to the Maven, from which you can download the Maven or you can get the Maven repository. Like that, I'm going to list down some 4 useful URLs. Okay, So next point is few of the fields which you want to remember. Okay, so we'll come back to this point while creating a Maven project. Okay, so here I'm going to use Eclipse as the IDE. Okay, for creating the project I'm going to use Eclipse. Okay, so before creating your Maven project, you have to make sure Java is installed in your machine. Okay, so let me show you how you can check that. Go to your command prompt. Okay, to check whether Java is installed, just type Java space hyphen version. Okay, so if it is giving the Java version, it means Java is installed in your system and it is configured to the environment variable. Same like that, you need to install the Maven also. So how you can check Maven is installed or not? To check whether a Maven is installed or not, what you have to do is you have to type mvn hyphen version. Okay, so if it is installed, you will get the version of the Maven that got installed in your machine. Okay, so if you haven't installed, what you have to do is just go to this particular portal. I will list all these portals in the description, so you can navigate to this and you can go through the steps for installing the Maven. Okay, and if you want to get the file for the downloading, you can go to this particular path and you can download the Maven. Okay, so if you scroll down, you can get the link for downloading. And for getting the different libraries for use in your project, Maven project, you can go to this particular URL mvnrepository.com. Okay, so I will tell you how you can use this repository while creating the project. Okay, so these are few of the important URLs which you can use while creating your project if the Maven is not installed in your machine. Okay, so this link will help you to understand more about the life cycle of this Maven project. Okay, so let's start. So I have opened my Eclipse. So if you want to create a Maven project, what you have to do is click on File. Okay, click on New, and here you can see a Java project, right? If you click on Java project, it will create you a normal Java project. It will not be like a Maven project, right? So what you have to do for creating a Maven, you have to go to others. Okay, if Maven project is not listed here, means you have to go to others. Okay, search for Maven, click for Maven project. Okay, click on next. Okay, so here you can see one tab is there, like create a simple project, skip archetype selection. Okay, so I'm just enabling this and I'm clicking on next. Okay, so you just need to remember this name. Okay, archetype selection. So I'm going to click on next. Okay, and here you can see it is asking to enter different field values like group ID, then artifact ID, what is the version, okay, then the packaging, and what kind of package that you want to do, and what's the name of the project, and the description, right? So let us understand what are this group ID, artifact ID, and what are this version and all. Okay, so let's go to our slide. So this is the archetype, right? This is a Maven project templating toolkit. Within the Maven project, we use archetypes to try and get our users up and running as quickly as possible by providing a sample project that demonstrates many of the features of Maven. Okay, so if you choose that particular field and if you create a project, it will directly create you a Maven project with most of the features of the Maven. Okay, so to try and get our users and up and running as quickly as possible by providing a sample project that demonstrates many of the features of a Maven. Okay, so by selecting that archetype, it will help you to create a Maven project in a faster manner. What is artifact ID? So it is a name of the jar without a version. If you created it, then you can choose whatever name you want with lowercase letter and no strange symbols. Okay, so you have to give the artifact ID with the lowercase letters and no symbols are allowed. If it is a third party jar, you have to take the name of the jar as it is, as its distributor. Okay, so if you are going to create For a third-party jar means you have to give the proper naming as it's a suggested. So you can use the names like a Maven or Coms hyphen math, like that. You can use different names for your active artifact ID. Okay, so what is a group ID? Uniquely identifies your project across all projects. Okay, suppose if you have created different projects in the same workspace, this group ID will help you to segregate that with other projects. Okay, so that is the benefit of a group ID. That is for the purpose of grouping your project. What is version? If you distribute it, then you can choose any typical version with number and dots. Okay, so you can give any name to the version, so that is totally depend on yours. Like you can give any numeric numbers like 1.0, like 1.1, 1.0.0. So this will help you to do the version controlling. Don't use date as they are usually associated with a snapshot. If it's a third-party artifact, you have to use their version number, whatever it is. Okay, so that's it. So let's go here and create a group ID. So I'm going to name it like org dot autobot dot demo. Okay, the artifact ID I'm going to name it like auto bot. Okay, then what kind of packaging I'm looking for? I'm going to choose jar, and the version also I'm not going to change. If you want to change it, you can change it. Okay, and the name of the project Autobot demo Maven. Okay, let me add a demo Maven. Okay, description, just try to add a detailed description. Okay, so suppose if another third-party person is looking into your project, he will able to understand what this project is, and he will get a basic understanding of the project that you have created. Okay, so this is a sample project to demo the Maven. Okay, so that's it. Click on finish. So at the bottom you can see it is creating the project 0%, so it will create you the project. Yeah, here you can see a new project got generated, that is Autobot. Right, so if it is a Maven project, what you have to check is like above to this folder you can see a letter called M, and if it's a normal project, that M won't be there. Okay, so this Cypress is a normal project, so you won't able to see the M on this particular folder. So let me expand this Autobot. Okay, so here you can see the Maven has already created you a structure for your project, right? You can see src main bar java, where you can create the main source code, then src main resources. If you want to add some resource, or if you want to maintain some resources regarding your code, you can maintain here. And this is for the testing, like if you want to write some test cases for checking your code, you can write it over here, and if there is any supporting resources required, you can keep it over here. Okay, src test bar resources, and inside this you will get all the dependent jar files. Okay, so now itself it has automatically downloaded the jar files, and so whenever if you're going to write something in the form, and if you execute it, you will get another dependency folder where it will download all the jar files. Okay, so that's it, and here you will get the src folder where you can get the main as well as the tester files which you're going to create over here. Okay, and this pom.xml, this is nothing but the file which we have mentioned, like this is same like a configuration file. Okay, so here you will get what are the details, like what is the artifact ID, and what's the name of your project, and what is the group ID. Okay, so what is the group ID of your project? So we have given this as a group ID, and what's the version, model version, then what's the version of the project, the name of your project, and the description which you have given. Okay, so whatever the value that you are giving as the artifact ID, that ID will come in your package explorer. Okay, so that is Autobot. So hope these steps are clear. So let me add few of the dependency files over here, and I will continue this video. Okay. Okay, so I have done few modifications to the pom.xml file. So here I have added the dependency, like I added the Selenium dependency and the dependency for this TestNG. So TestNG is nothing but it's a framework which will help you to generate the proper TestNG summary report, as well as it will provide you the different annotations which will help you to create a structured test case. Okay, so TestNG is an advancement to the JUnit framework, and you can use this TestNG in your project to create a structured layer execution. And I will be creating a video entirely for this TestNG, like how you can use the TestNG framework to create a project, and how the report is getting generated, and what are the different annotations that we can use with the TestNG framework. Okay, so I have added two dependencies. So if you want to know how I have added the dependency, you have to go to this Maven repository. Okay, Maven repository.com, and there you have to search for Selenium. Okay, so if you search for Selenium, you will be getting the suggestions related to the Selenium, and you have to click for Selenium Java. Okay, and there it will show you the different versions of the library, and here you have to go for the stable version. Okay, so here I am going to click on 4.1.0. Once you click on that, here you will get the dependency. Okay, the Maven dependency, so you can copy that and paste it over here. Okay, so inside the dependency tag you can add the dependency. So same like that for TestNG also you can search and you can add the dependency. And I have added the build structure also, that is inside the build you have to add the plugins. Okay, so here I have used the compiler plugin for compiling the code, and Maven Surefire plugin for testing the test cases. Okay, and I have added the suite XML details also. So this thing we have to declare inside the property tag. Okay, and one more thing is, like, I have created a test case. Okay, so the name I have given like testrpachallenge.com, and I have given the annotation, okay, at the rate test. So this is one annotation which is providing by TestNG framework. Okay, so I have used that, and in order to use this test case, what we have to do is we have to convert this into a TestNG code. Okay, so what we have to do is go to TestNG, convert to TestNG. Okay, so convert to TestNG, so it will create you a testng.xml file. So where I need to put it, I'm going to put it inside Autoboard src test resources. Okay, so it will create a resource file inside testng.xml file inside this resource path. Okay, and here you can see inside the testng.xml, it is declaring this class name equal to autoboard.test_rpa_challenge. Okay, so if you want to create a test suite, okay, so you can use this particular file. Let me go to that file and open that. Okay, so here it has declared class name equal to autoboard.test_rpa_challenge. So if you want to add more number of test cases, you can just append to it. Okay, so that's the benefit of this file. And what I'm going to do is, let me try to execute this file. Click on TestNG suite. What happened? Okay, so here the problem is, like, we have created the main class and we have written inside that, right? So I'm going to change this name. Let me put it like initialization, and I don't think we need to keep these arguments, so let me remove that. Okay, so that is done, and we kept this testng file here, right? So let me open that. Okay, so we have one test case over here, so let me try to execute now. TestNG suite because earlier it was trying to execute the main function. So main function will get automatically trigger even though if we are not using the test annotation, right? So that's a conflict. So I changed that main function to another name. So this time it is executing fine. Okay, so this is how you can create this testng.xml and how you can add more test cases. And if you want to do the cross-browser execution, you can pass the browser name as a parameter. So in the coming videos, I will show you how you can pass this parameter to the test suite and how you can execute your test cases. Okay, so now okay, run equal to 1, pass equal to 1. So our test case is passed. So we executed one test case and it is passed. Okay. So this is the benefit of using the testng. So you can create a testng.xml file where you can create your test suite and you can uh, either use the testng command in the IDE, or if you want to execute it using the Maven, what you can do is just go to your pom.xml file, or you can go to the project. Okay, right click and here you can see run as, right? So here what you can do is, if you want to do the Maven test, okay, suppose if you want to do the testing for this project, you can click on Maven test. Okay, so whatever the previous lifecycle phases are there for this project, it will get execute. Okay, so if you test me, if you click on test means it will do the cleaning, then it will do the compilation, then it will do the testing. Okay, so what are the pre steps before to Maven test? All those lifecycle steps will get execute. What I'm going to do is just click on this Maven test. Okay, so here you can see it is getting all the libraries, required libraries, and it is using Maven Surefire plugin for doing the testing, and it is executing the test suite. Okay, we have created a test suite and we configured that in the pom.xml. So that test suite is going to get execute. So this is how Maven will work, and even you can execute this command from any command prompt. Okay, if Maven is installed in a machine, you can directly execute it using the Maven command. I will show you that how you can do that. Okay, it run one and build a success, and the execution is a passed one. Okay, and what you can do is let me get this path properties. So in this path I have kept this project, right? Let me go to this particular path. Okay, cd, and if you want to do the test, mvn test. Okay, so it will do the same task, like it will execute the test phase. Okay, so here you can see it is triggering the compiler for doing the compilation. It is calling up the Surefire plugin for doing the testing. Okay, so this is how you can put this project in the CI/CD for doing the execution in your pipeline. Okay, so in the coming videos, I will show you what is testng framework and how you can use different annotations to create a proper pattern of your test cases. And I will show you the testng summary report that will get generated, and we'll discuss about the cross-browser execution and the headless execution. And we can see how we can create more number of test cases, and we can create a different test suites. And so we can try to develop a different test suite also, like with a different framework, using testng, using Cucumber, or with the robot framework. We can explore more on that, and I will be providing more videos on all these frameworks. Okay, so hope this video is useful and interesting for you. So please like the video, please share to your friends, and don't forget to comment on this video. uh, don't forget to try out this Maven. Okay, so if you have the Eclipse installed in your machine, try to create a Maven project and try to explore the form.xml and just understand how the structure is generated in the Maven, and try to create a sample test case by add the dependency to the form.xml and try to execute it. Okay, if you are not going to use any of this testng.xml, try to execute it as a Java application and try. And if you want to get more detailed report, just create or add the testng framework and create a test suite and try the different phases like Maven build, Maven clean, Maven test, like that. They just try to explore all the different phases. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. Bye.